August sun turns the floodplain into a steamy hothouse. The hum of myriads of mosquitoes fills the air. In the reeds, the red deer try to hide from the heat and the mosquitoes. Good wallowing spots are now rare and spurn competition. The biggest boar are always first to chill out. The mud bath is not just refreshing, it's also a shield against menacing insects. Cormorants clearly profit from hot, dry weather. Their feathers get soaked when they fish, and they cannot fly until they are dry. Cormorants are living clotheslines. Birds sit like this for hours, absorbing the warmth of the sun and digesting their meals. At the climax of summer, water becomes scarce even on the floodplain. Sandbanks turn into islands, oxbows into stagnant pools. In these pools, many fish are now trapped. This means luck for the young night herons who have recently left the care of their parents and must now learn to hunt by themselves. Even though the low water level makes hunting easier, there's no such thing as a free meal. But hunger is a great motivator, and the young heron's learning curve is soaring. The oppressive heat only lasts for 2 or 3 weeks. By mid-August, the fogs are back in the valley, turning the tropical jungle into a mystical forest. With the first fogs, the first migratory birds descend. Soon, thousands will follow. But for now, time seems to stand still. The summer is gone, and autumn hasn't really arrived. Nature is gathering strength for the winter. Around the pools, the young herons are gorging themselves with fish. Once the trees change colour and shed their first leaves, the red deer become restive. The rut is imminent. Their rough voices echo through the forest. One can hear them thrashing through the undergrowth. They are aggressive and always on the move. Rivals keep a watchful eye on each other. If a stag sees the slightest chance of winning a fight, it will attack. Only the strongest stags can pass on their genes. The winner will father almost all the calves to be born next spring. By late September, all the females are pregnant. The males have done their part, and peace can return. For most wild animals, the Morava River and its wetlands are not a barrier. On the contrary, for centuries the floodplain has been a crossroads and a stepping stone for wildlife migrating between the Carpathian Mountains and the Alps. Up to the middle of the last century, lots of red deer would frequent this green corridor. Meanwhile, however, migration is down to a trickle. This boar is travelling an ancient route. He's coming from the Carpathians and heading to the Morava's woodlands. But it's far from certain that he will ever get there. Through Central Europe's densely settled landscape, there are a few green corridors left. The big forest of Zahori, for instance, the floodplains of the Redova River, or strips of woodland that have been left standing as wind barriers to protect agricultural land. These corridors enable the crucial flow of genes between wildlife populations. To reach the Morava's woodlands, the boar has to get past sprawling urbanization and industrial parks, across country lanes, railroads and motorways. The journey is full of risks, and not just for the wildlife. For the long-term survival of the Morava floodplain's wildlife populations, it's essential that migration corridors are restored and protected. Almost unnoticed, autumn has reached the wetland forest. The lush jungle green is fading. The Morava flow is now sluggish and silent, withdrawn into a narrow bed. The giant poplars are the first to lose their silvery green. Then the oaks turn brown. Willows and ash are the last to lose their leaves. The warmth of the sun is only felt for a few hours around noon. When the nights turn chilly, many birds who have nested here leave the floodplain. New arrivals from the Arctic take their place. In October, thousands of bean geese and greater white-fronted geese descend on the Morava's banks. They come from northern Russia and Scandinavia. Exhausted from their long flight, they rest and recover on the floodplain until the first severe frost moves them on again. In some years, their stopover is cut short. North winds can bring frost